As you may have noticed through the last few weeks, we are in our stewardship month. And we define stewardship as taking care of, in every way, that which we find important. And so our talk today is called A World That Works for Everyone, because we are centering in on the global expression of this dancing with the richness of life. So we have a slide that shows the series of messages. We started with our theme, Dancing with the Richness of Life, and then we took it within with Reverend Karen to really connect to that internal mindfulness around abundance. How do we set up our brains to work that way? And then we moved to together in our small group, our abundance teams, our families, our best friends, our work partners, those core people who really, we build off each other, right? And then we moved to communally, to in community. How do we do this together as a group? And today we get to talk about globally. Now, when I talk about doing anything on a global level, the first thing that I hear from people is, that's a lot. I can barely handle being responsible for my own life. I cannot take on, the Middle East and Africa. That's too much for one person. It's too much for one person. And it is. It's a good thing there are a lot of such persons in rooms like this all over the world, talking about how can we move forward in a way that works for everyone. And we are lucky here in Centers for Spiritual Living because the wonderful ministers and practitioners of CSL have created a global vision for our organization. And rather than hearing what I think about all of this, let's just see what our movement has claimed. And it may help you to hear this if you just close your eyes or let your gaze soften. We envision all people, all beings, and all life as an expression of God. We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connecting with each other, a world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought, a world where each and every person discovers their own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with life prospers and connects with the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. We envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging. A world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement, and justice. We envision a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, and where there's generous and continuing sharing of these resources. We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. We envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and the aesthetics. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. And so it is. And you may have noticed me getting a little bit teary, because just like you, every so often, I will ask myself the question, is New Vision the place for me? Is Science of Mind the place for me? Is Centers for Spiritual Living the organization through which I can do the most good? And then I go back to that vision. And more than anything Ernest Holmes ever said, more than any class or any teacher, that global vision keeps me right here, focusing on what I can do to be a drop in that bigger bucket that creates that world that works for everyone. It's a big vision. It's a big vision. But we start where we are. And where I am most of the time when I'm not here is on TikTok. We know this. And usually in all the places on TikTok there is to be, I am watching Swiftie videos. For anybody who doesn't know me, I am a Swiftie. I confess, I'm a Taylor Swift fan. And I like to hang out with other Taylor Swift fans on the internet. And that's where I met Lila. This is Lila. She's 2.5. And I met her because her mom makes videos where every time she hears a Taylor Swift song or sees a picture of her, she points and says, "That's my friend. That's my friend." And I said, "Girl, me too. Me too." So Lila has a rare form of brain cancer called ATRT. It's an aggressive form of brain cancer. And her mom, who is also a Swiftie, she didn't know how to look it up on Spotify herself. Clearly, her mom was playing her these songs. She did a GoFundMe, as so many families do when the amount of money that the treatment takes far surpasses what the insurance will pay for. And so she got very brave, and she put up a GoFundMe for $100,000. And she picked that number because someone asked her, what's the amount of money, if you had it, you could just relax and take care of Lila? And so she puts this up for $100,000. And 2 hours later, Taylor Swift gave her $100,000. We can cheer for Taylor. Now, Taylor Swift is a billionaire, a literal billionaire. She has $100,000 to give, and I love that she's someone that will give it. That's one of the things I really like about her. And she's a billionaire. I don't have $100,000 to give Lila, but I do have a little. And so I went on that GoFundMe, and I saw someone before me had given $13. Now, if you're a Swiftie, the 11 of you in the room, you know that 13 is Taylor's favorite number. And I thought, oh, that's cute. I'll give $13 too. And I thought that was the end of it. But the next day, Lila's mom made another video, and she's like, guys, you passed how much Taylor gave. She gave $100,000, and you've given like $108,000 in the last 24 hours. I don't know how to say thank you. She's crying through the video, of course. And I checked back the next day, and it's more. And I checked back the next day, and it's more. And as of yesterday, when I made this slide, her GoFundMe was at $347,241. Taylor gave $100,000 of that money, but the rest of it was made up of person by person, heart by heart, intention by intention, $13 by $13. And now, not only are the treatments that they were trying to get covered, and Lila's mom doesn't have to work and can be there with her, but now they can try experimental treatments that insurance was never going to cover. And the money keeps coming in, drop by drop by drop. See, it's not about somebody coming in with a huge amount of money. It's about connecting people with what they care about so that bit by bit we can each contribute. Stewardship is an individual choice for the collective good. We're really good at knowing this when it's our family, right? Our family needs something, we pool our resources and we get it done. We're really good at knowing it in community. We pool our resources and we get it done. That's what Stewardship Month is all about. But we can kind of forget that it's exactly the same process when we're talking about nations, when we're talking about systems like the justice system or the welfare system. We forget that it's drop after drop coming together. And Ernest Holmes, this is what he said about it in freedom from stress. He said social systems are the result of collective individual convictions. Elimination of poverty, disease, and unhappiness from the face of the earth can only begin with the individual, where he is now, where they are now, and they will succeed to the extent they permit the divine abundance to flow into their life. Every single thing that changes because somebody said this needs to change, and somebody else said, yeah, that makes sense. And more people joined in, and the change happens. I am willing to bet there is something systemic in the world, in the nation, in this city, in this state going on that you have thought, this cannot be. This has to change. It changes through each of us choosing, making an individual choice for the good of the collective. I think that we have a tendency as human beings to kind of sit back and wait for someone to choose us, to tell us, this is your path, this is what you're going to do, this is how you make a difference, get in line. And there are some opportunities for that. There are. We are doing it around here all the time, inviting people onto teams, into projects, into leadership opportunities. But the real choice is made by the individual to step into that role of being the place of change in the area that they choose to steward, that they think is important enough and valuable enough that they will contribute their time, their energy, their money, their creativity to being the place of shift. Yeah? One of the great names for the master teacher Jesus is the anointed one. Christos, actually means anointed. It means the chosen. And it can mean to some people that God created this man with the choice to bring the divine into the human form. I would argue that God has made that choice with every human being that has come forward, that the divine has come into human form for every single one of us, and indeed for every being everywhere, because that's all there is to be made of, is divinity. Therefore, we have to be that, right? And so the choice in the anointing isn't God choosing. God's already chosen every single one of us and everyone that ever has been and ever will be. It's the choice within each one of us to be the yes for whatever it is that lights up each individual person's passion. To be the yes for change, to be the yes for creativity, to be the yes for givingness, to be the yes for Lila and millions other children, mothers, fathers, human beings. We envision a world where the resources are shared so that everyone has enough food. Everyone has a place to live. Everyone has the right to medical care. Everyone, yeah? Everyone. And each one of us get to decide, is that my choice? Am I the anointed one? I'm going to invite Reverend Lori and Reverend Karen forward. And while they're gathering their things, here's what's going to happen. You have a choice right now, right here, right now, to decide, am I the anointed? Here in the sanctuary, we have the materials to do a physical anointing. Friends online, I invite you to do the same. We're using olive oil. I actively chose not to use some fancy special oil because I know you have olive oil at your house. We'll have 3 lines. Each person who chooses to step forward into the anointing of the action of your choice, the place where you say yes, is invited to come forward, and we'll form 3 lines, and we'll do an anointing of the hands. I believe that the divine lives in you. And so now is the opportunity to make that choice for yourself. You are blessed. We have more home. To our beloveds online, what I was whispering to each friend as they came up and made their choice to become the anointed is you are blessed. And it's not true because I said it. It's true because it's true. That each of us is so profoundly and completely blessed. And there are moments, usually related to watching the news, when I start to wonder, are we? There are some dicey situations in the world. But we are, in fact, so blessed in our connection with Spirit that highest wisdom is available to each of us. And so my final thought here is this wonderful thought from Marianne Williamson. She speaks of abundance, but I would say it is the truth of every situation. The key to abundance is meeting limited circumstances with unlimited thoughts, with unlimited attention, with unlimited willingness to be the heart of solution. We have our work cut out for us. Shall we begin? Yes. So let's take this into some prayer to anchor it in. Oh, how good it is to remember that before we were ever a thought, Spirit was and is still. That we don't have to know what the answer is. Spirit knows and is whispering it into our hearts in exactly the right divine timing. How good it is to know that every cause, every concern, every wound that gets brought into that place of prayerfulness is met with the divine yes. And so I speak a celebration of healing over every healed heart, every healed body, every healed situation, knowing that the anointed are right here, and that love is always the way. I'm so grateful to know this is the truth, and I just let it be, as we say, and so it is.